We still haven't settled the score from last time. Make your move.
Lynn, get out of the way.
Julia was here, right in this town.
Step aside, Lynn. Lynn.
Fasten your seatbelts and set coordinates for a space odyssey. The anime you are about to experience whirls you into the world of interstellar bounty hunters, jazzy tunes, and mysteries draped in noir. As every bounty unravels, so do tales of the past, ambitions, love, and redemption. Episode 1. In the labyrinth of Spike Spiegel's memories, we're taken back to a haunting scene where the echo of church bells resonates with him walking with a bouquet. This is no ordinary bouquet. It conceals a gun, and Spike, after dispatching multiple adversaries, unveils a grenade with a sinister smile. Fast forward to the present, and we find ourselves aboard the Bebop, near Mars. Jet showcases his culinary skills, much to Spike's annoyance. While sharing a meal, they discuss their next potential bounty, Asimov Solenson. Solenson's shady past includes betraying his own syndicate. Despite Spike's initial disinterest, given the seemingly meager bounty on Asimov, Jet persuades him with tales of delicious carnitas. Our stage is now set in Tijuana, where Asimov, accompanied by Katerina, his presumably pregnant girlfriend, ventures into the El Rey bar. A covert transaction is in play, dealing in a mysterious substance named Bloody Eye. But when syndicate men attempt an ambush, Asimov, under the influence of Bloody Eye, showcases superhuman prowess, annihilating his adversaries with an almost surreal ease. Amidst this chaos, Spike seeks guidance from Laughing Bull. There's a cryptic prophecy about encountering a red-eyed coyote and a dangerous woman. Spike, however, dismisses these warnings, referencing his past and a particular woman's role in it. Spike's path collides with both Asimov and Katerina. Yet, a later rendezvous turns intense as Spike charms Katerina, inadvertently provoking Asimov's wrath. During their skirmish, Spike manages to pocket a vial of the coveted Bloody Eye. The narrative tension amplifies as Jet fills Spike in on Asimov's backstory and the Syndicate's pursuit. Despite Jet's reservations about the formidable Asimov, Spike is determined to capture him, especially with his newfound knowledge of Asimov's whereabouts. An orchestrated drug deal at Denny Bar sees Spike confront Asimov, destroying the stolen Bloody Eye vial, setting off an adrenaline-charged combat sequence. The ISSP and the Syndicate intensify their hunt for Asimov. Amidst the chase, a startling revelation comes to light. Katerina's apparent pregnancy is a ruse, masking their stash of Bloody Eye. As events spiral out of control, Katerina, in a poignant moment, shoots Asimov. Their shared dreams of Mars end tragically as ISSP cruisers unleash a barrage, consuming both in an explosive finale. Spike, lost in thought and practicing his martial arts, reflects on the tragic fate of Katerina and Asimov. Jet, attempting to lighten the mood, presents the familiar dish, bell peppers and beef, completing a full narrative circle. Before we continue, take a moment to answer the question of the day. Which anime characters fumbled the hardest? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out in a future video. Episode 2. Abdul Hakim unwinds his bandages, revealing a face freshly molded from plastic surgery. But as he savors his new look, he's ambushed by armed scientists. Displaying astonishing prowess, Hakim incapacitates them with ease, leaving with a peculiar large briefcase in tow. Meanwhile, amidst the vastness of hyperspace near Mars, Spike Spiegel tunes into Big Shot, learning about Hakim's bounty. The always curious Jet Black looks on as a doctor. A friend of Spike's chimes in with an offer. The most recent picture of Hakim's post-surgery face, at a mere price of 280 woolongs. The doctor shares whispers of a mysterious briefcase, although its contents remain elusive. On the bustling streets of Mars, Hakim's world is a cat-and-mouse game. Fleeting moment of distraction at a juice bar, a younger accomplice grabs Hakim's briefcase and darts away. Spike, now on Mars and on the hunt, lands the Bebop on water. With a surge of confidence and the roar of his Swordfish 2's engines, he begins his pursuit. A pawn shop visit provides a clue. A hint leads Spike to Animal Treasure, but the plot thickens at Animal Treasure. The young accomplice attempts to sell the contents of the stolen briefcase. Spike, mistakenly believing him to be Hakim under a new surgical guise, holds him at gunpoint. But when the case is opened, it reveals not some high-stakes item, but a Pembroke Welsh Corgi puppy. As Spike exits, chalking it up to a wild goose chase, he narrowly misses crossing paths with the real Hakim. And as fate would have it, Hakim confronts the accomplice, resulting in a dramatic chase involving the young dog, named Ein, with multiple parties involved. Hakim desiring the dog, scientists seeking their data dog, and Spike, still after Hakim. Chaos unfolds on a bridge where Spike and Hakim, two titans, finally confront each other. The stakes escalate when Ein, caught in the crossfire, leaps from the bridge. Both Spike and Hakim, compelled by their respective reasons, dive after the pup. But as dust settles, Hakim finds himself trapped amidst crabs. Spike surfaces, clutching Ein, and the city continues its unrelenting pace. Back on the bebop, Jet, with a tinkerer's precision, outfits Ein with a tracking collar. While Spike laments Ein's seemingly low value, they hatch a plan. Use Ein as bait to lure out Hakim. Spike's new role, an unenthusiastic dog walker. The streets of Mars witness a bizarre spectacle. A high-pitched whistle from the scientists attracts a swarm of canines. Ein breaks free from Spike, and a desperate Hakim re-enters the fray, snatching Ein. The climax crescendos on a causeway. A high-octane chase ensues. Spike in his ship, Hakim with Ein, and the scientists in hot pursuit. Yet the climax offers no victors. In a twist of fate, both Hakim and the scientists crash into an ISSP precinct. As the smoke clears, Big Shot reveals the cryptic nature of Ein, Data Dog, a marvel from an illicit research facility. With no intention and against all odds, Bebop gains a new four-legged crew member, Ein. Episode 3. Faye Valentine saunters into a shop on Mars, her every step radiating confidence. But her confidence is short-lived. Moments later, a group of menacing thugs encircle her. Faye is quick to react, pulling out her Heckler and Coke MP5 submachine gun and firing at her assailants. However, they're numerous and overpower her, dragging her to the grand ship of Gordon, a notorious criminal casino owner. The air is thick with tension as Gordon studies Faye intently, convinced she is the reincarnation of Poker Alice. But when Gordon dangles the prospect of erasing her overwhelming debts in exchange for her gambling expertise, she finds herself playing a part in an intricate and illegal business transaction. While Faye navigates the treacherous waters of Gordon's world, Spike and Jet, strapped for cash and down to their last 5,000 woolongs, enter Gordon's lavish casino, Spiders from Mars. Jet warns Spike about the sharpness of his eyes, fearing that winning too much might attract unwanted attention. At a blackjack table, Faye, now moonlighting as a dealer, locks eyes with Spike. The cards are dealt, but there's another game at play. Gordon had prepped Faye about a man resembling Spike who would approach her table, lose all his money, and as a final gesture, tip her with his last chip. That chip is of paramount importance to Gordon, and Faye's debt would evaporate upon its delivery to him. But as fate would have it, Spike decides to retain his final chip, unintentionally throwing a wrench into Gordon's meticulous plan. The casino is alive with tension. Faye corners Spike, desperate for the chip, but their altercation attracts the attention of the casino's security. A full-blown brawl ensues, leaving Spike outnumbered. Concurrently, Jet enjoys a lucky streak, raking in over 200,000 woolongs, but their fortunes are short-lived. Faye, in a daring move, calls in her ship, the Red Tail, blasting a hole in the casino wall for a hasty retreat. As chaos reigns, Spike and Jet manage to latch onto Faye's ship. Much to her shock, Gordon's world crumbles when he discovers the poker chip he has is a counterfeit. Enraged, he kills the man who brought it to him. Tensions rise aboard the Bebop. Faye, now a prisoner, is questioned about the chip's significance. Unbeknownst to Spike and Jet, the chip conceals a state-of-the-art decryption program, Crypt Breaker, coveted key sought after by many. Negotiations commence, with a staggering 30 million woolongs on the line. Amidst the cosmic void, Spike ventures towards Gordon's ship. What follows is a cinematic standoff in space, a face-off reminiscent of the Wild West's duels, guns drawn, hearts racing. Spike masterfully outsmarts his opponent, securing the chip once more. Inside the Bebop, Faye demonstrates her resourcefulness, breaking free from her restraints. She dashes to her ship with Ein, the data dog, hot on her heels. She manages to blast out of the Bebop's hangar, but not without a final electric exchange with Spike. The stakes escalate further when Faye seizes the 30 million woolongs. Gordon's ship retaliates with a barrage of firepower, but Faye, with her unmatched piloting skills, redirects the assault back to Gordon, leaving his ship in ruins. The aftermath is bittersweet. Spike returns to the Bebop, the once valuable poker chip now rendered useless. Resigned to their fate, Spike and Jet decide to try their luck once more, spending the chip at another casino. Episode 4. Faye Valentine's ship, the Red Tail, drifts through space near Ganymede, out of fuel. She stumbles upon a wrecked ship with a homing beacon and goes inside to investigate. There, she finds a man in a life support pod named Get, who is critically injured. He hands her a mysterious case and asks her to deliver it to the ISSP. Elsewhere, Spike and Jet are at a Ganymede spaceport restaurant, focused on their breakfast and tracking down a bounty head named Morgan. Jet uses his unique steampunk glasses to scan faces and confirms that Morgan is in the restaurant. However, their mission is interrupted by the unexpected entrance of the Space Warriors, group of eco-terrorists led by Twinkle Maria Murdoch. The Warriors take issue with Morgan's order of sea rat saute. Guns are drawn, chaotic gunfight ensues. Amidst the gunfire, Morgan is killed, leaving Spike and Jet empty-handed. However, they manage to capture Murdoch. Back in space, Faye's curiosity gets the better of her. She opens the case and discovers a golden object. Not knowing its importance, she contacts the Bebop, hoping they could help her in her stranded state. After a humorous exchange, they pull her aboard. Jet, digging into his connections, contacts Bob from ISSP on Ganymede and learns about a dangerous virus called monkey business. The virus mutates human DNA, turning them into monkeys, and this golden object holds the virus. The Space Warriors demand the return of Murdoch, threatening to release the virus on Ganymede. Spike, quick on his feet, discreetly places the virus sample in Murdoch's pocket, setting her up for a surprise. The Bebop crew, under duress, returns Murdoch to the Space Warriors. The eco-terrorists, with their leader back, proceed with their plan to release the virus on Ganymede as revenge against humanity's mistreatment of the environment. What follows is a high-stakes chase in hyperspace. Spike, in his Swordfish 2, manages to intercept and destroy 2 of the missiles carrying the virus, but a third proves tricky. Enter Faye, having escaped from the Bebop once again. She offers her assistance in handling the remaining missile. While she engages the missile, breaks into a cluster of warheads, making the task much harder. Things intensify as the Ganymede government decides to close the Astral Gate. In a nail-biting sequence, both Spike and Faye barely escape. The Space Warriors' ship isn't as fortunate. As they get trapped, Murdoch realizes Spike's ploy. The virus sample has broken inside their ship. The aftermath is bittersweet. Back on the Bebop, Spike and Jet lament their lost bounty. But Faye, ever the opportunist, declares that they'll hit it big on the next mission. As she comfortably makes herself at home, Spike and Jet slowly realize that Faye has just announced herself as a member of their crew, whether they like it or not. The dynamics on the Bebop have shifted once again, setting the stage for further adventures. Episode 5. In a towering high-rise, Mao Yenrai, a leading figure in the Red Dragon crime syndicate, and Carlos from the White Tiger syndicate convene. Their organizations have been clashing for a long time. Today, they ink a truce agreement. As Carlos departs, satisfied with the peace, his ship suddenly erupts in flames. Vicious, another key player from the Red Dragon syndicate, and his associates storm the room. Although Mao confronts Vicious about the pointlessness of his actions, Vicious wields his signature sword and ends Mao's life. With his dying breath, Mao suggests that Spike's presence might have prevented this bloody scene. On the Bebop, Jet and Spike get wind of a new 28 million Wulong bounty on Mao. Spike seems particularly invested, prompting Jet to voice concerns about Spike's secretive connection to Mao. Spike, evading the issue, shifts the conversation to Jet's lost arm. In the midst of their heated exchange, Faye interrupts, freshly back from a shopping spree. Spike, undeterred by their discussion, sets out to chase a lead on Mao. Jet, anxious and frustrated, warns Spike about the impending danger, but Faye's curiosity about the bounty leads her to an opera house, where Mao is rumored to be. Dressed elegantly, she masquerades as Mao's date, but instead of the peaceful scene she anticipates, she discovers Mao's lifeless body and meets the formidable Vicious. Simultaneously, Spike visits Annie, an old affiliate from the Red Dragon. Annie, shocked to see Spike, believing he died years ago, conveys the news of Mao's demise and Vicious's involvement. Despite understanding the perils ahead, she arms Spike for the inevitable confrontation with Vicious. On the Bebop, as Spike prepares for battle, Jet shares a revelation. Mao is dead, and Spike is headed straight into a trap. Spike acknowledges this, revealing he has a personal score to settle. Just then, a call from Faye interrupts them, pleading for rescue from Vicious's clutches. Spike assents, stating it's not for her sake. The scene shifts to a grand cathedral where Vicious awaits Spike. As Faye's voice echoes, Spike leaps into action, and a fierce fight ensues. Spike confronts a series of adversaries, battling his way towards Vicious. When the two finally meet, a brutal duel unfolds between them in a dramatic setting next to a massive stained glass window. In a tense moment, Vicious remarks about the shared blood that courses through their veins. Spike retorts that he's left that life behind. As the battle reaches its climax, Vicious hurls Spike through the window. Simultaneously, Spike tosses a grenade in Vicious's direction. As he plummets, a montage of Spike's past rushes through his mind. Images of battles alongside Vicious, intimate moments between Vicious and Julia, and memories of Spike and Julia Julia intertwined in a dizzying whirl. One poignant flashback highlights Spike, injured and recovering under Julia's care. She hums a soothing melody. This reverie shatters when Spike regains consciousness on the bebop, days after the encounter. Faye, humming the same tune, is at his side. Despite her care, Spike's first reaction is to critique her singing, prompting an exasperated Faye to leave in a huff. Episode 6. In a dreamscape, Spike floats amidst floating human organs and a lone fish, surrounded by surgical procedures. Suddenly, the vivid scene shifts. Spike awakens in a lively nightclub where a young boy mesmerizes the crowd with soulful blues on a harmonica. Elsewhere on the bebop, Faye rummages through the fridge, only finding a can of dog food. With a smirk, she pops the lid and indulges, much to the dismay of Ein, the patiently waiting dog. Back at the nightclub, as Spike scans the room with his tech-infused glasses, he joins Jet, discussing the intricacies of blues music. Their shared attention pivots to their next target, Giraffe, worth 3 million Wolong. However, an unexpected old face, Fatty River, an old comrade of Jet, obstructs their view. Jet's enthusiastic reunion with Fatty distracts them momentarily, but Spike remains vigilant, shadowing Giraffe as he exits the club. Intriguingly, Giraffe is pursuing the harmonica kid, who hops into a cab with an older gentleman in a wheelchair. As Giraffe confronts the duo in a luxurious suite, chaos ensues. With the room's window shattering, Giraffe, critically injured, falls only to be caught by Spike. Before Giraffe's life slips away, he entrusts Spike with a ring, whispering enigmatic words about a mysterious him. On the bebop, Jet and Spike ponder the ring's significance. Faye's fleeting attempt to lay claim to it is curtly rejected. Later, over a meal, Fatty reveals to Jet the intertwined histories of Giraffe, the man named Zebra, and a seemingly ageless boy named Wen. The tale involves betrayal, space raiders, and a mysterious event near Mars. With renewed determination, Spike tracks Wen and the wheelchair-bound Zebra to a warehouse. Confronting the seemingly young boy, Spike faces unexpected ferocity. Wen recounts his survival of the Astral Gate accident, resulting in his unending youth. Confrontation culminates in a fierce gunfight, revealing Wen's seemingly supernatural durability. On the bebop, with Zebra now in their care, they uncover the secret behind Wen's condition. Jet explains the Astral Gate accident, which led to the formation of a gem, the one in the ring, capable of returning Wen's aging process to normal. With this knowledge, Jet crafts a bullet from the gem. A skeptical Spike loads it, ready for the climactic showdown. Taking to the skies in his Swordfish 2, Spike tracks Wen to a desolate gas station. The confrontation is intense, bullets flying in a deadly dance. As Wen confidently takes his shots, Spike musters his strength and fires the gem-encrusted bullet. Striking true, the bullet works its mysterious magic. Wen, transformed into an old man, collapses, relieved to finally age. His final moments are ones of gratitude and a yearning for understanding. The atmosphere is heavy. Spike, he launches Wen's harmonica into the air, points playfully, and declares with a mock gunshot, "Bang!" Episode 7. In the vastness of space, Vermont, an interstellar trucker with a mysterious reputation, finishes her shipment run. She's met by Otto, another trucker, who makes yet another failed attempt at guessing her full name to claim an old bet between them. Deciding to grab a bite, she heads to Mac's Diner with Zeros, her feline companion, only to note how packed it is. The bartender hints that the crowd consists of bounty hunters awaiting the arrival of a man named Decker, known for his dragon tattoo. Inside the diner's bathroom, Spike and Faye discuss their dwindling chances of nabbing Decker. Spike, nursing a hangover, heads to the bar to whip up a prairie oyster. Just as he begins, Muriel, a waitress, faces harassment from a group of aggressive hunters called the Memphis Brothers. Unwilling to stand by, Vermont springs into action, and a brawl ensues. Spike joins the fray after his drink-making gets interrupted. Their combined efforts throw the troublemakers out, and VT, in gratitude, offers Spike a drink, despite her distaste for bounty hunters. Elsewhere, Faye surveys Woody's, a kids-themed restaurant, when a burly man with what appears to be a dragon tattoo walks in. She believes she's struck gold. Little does she know, the real Decker sits nearby, catching on to the bounty hunters after her. The fake lead evaporates when Faye realizes the man's tattoo is of an eel, not a dragon. Decker takes this opportunity to flee, and in her pursuit, Faye's ship gets damaged by an explosive he throws her way. The real Decker slips away, leaving Faye to report her failure to Jet. Back at Mac's Diner, Spike and VT share a drink. Their bonding moment is disrupted when 3 old men walk in, trying to win the name-guessing bet. However, before Spike can take his shot at the bet, he's alerted by Jet to chase Decker. His identity as a bounty hunter now revealed, Vermont swiftly rescinds her earlier gesture of goodwill. Outside, Spike discovers his ship, the Swordfish 2, vandalized by the Memphis Brothers. As he hitchhikes, Vermont eventually picks him up, with Spike persuading her to take in Faye too. On board her truck, music blares as the duo catches up. When another trucker, Otto, reports a run-in with a reckless driver bearing a distinctive Saraswati painting, Vermont identifies it as Decker's ship. Tip from Spider Mike directs her to the old Linus mine where she corners Decker. During their chase, Decker's explosives inadvertently cause a massive cave-in, trapping them both. Simultaneously, Spike and Faye race to help, warned about the explosives on Decker's ship. The predicament worsens when they realize that Decker's nitro-filled ship threatens the entire asteroid. The trio formulates a plan, use a small amount of nitro to blast their way out. Dangerous mission demands precision, and as Spike sets an explosive on his ship's pod, he narrowly evades death, using his gun's recoil for propulsion. The explosion successfully clears their path, allowing the group to escape. As they leave the mine's confines, Spike glances at VT's pendant, recognizing the image. Expressing his gratitude, he addresses her by her full name, Victoria Terpsichore, linking her to the legendary bounty hunter, Ural Terpsichore, her late husband. Episode 8. In the vastness of space, Spike and Faye board a commercial shuttle headed for Venus, their eyes on a trio of wannabe hijackers, Huey, Louie, and Dewey. Spike, rousing from a nap, masterfully incapacitates two, and Faye, with a flourish, releases a stun perfume that takes out the third. Their mission is a success, bringing in a collective bounty of 1.5 million Wulongs. Meanwhile, on the same shuttle, Rocco Bonaro is in a bind. He's desperately trying to send a package within the planet, but is short on funds. Upon sighting Spike, he hastily pays the shipping fee and pursues him. Recognizing Spike's combat finesse, Rocco challenges him. His attempt is feeble. Impressed with Spike's expertise, Rocco pleads for a lesson in the martial arts Spike practices. While Spike attributes his prowess to fluidity rather than brute strength, their training session is cut short as menacing thugs search for Rocco. Trusting Spike with a mysterious package, Rocco schedules a rendezvous for the next day and disappears. Back on the Bebop, Jet grouses about Faye's unpredictable departures. They discuss their next bounty, Picaro Calvino and his crew, known for stealing a priceless gray ash plant. To Jet's astonishment, Spike unveils Rocco's package. This plant can cure the debilitating Venus sickness. Faye's first instinct is to sell it, but Jet refuses given its stolen status. While Faye seeks Picaro, Spike, piloting his Swordfish 2, discovers a derelict shuttle in the desert. Confrontation ensues when he meets Stella, a blind woman armed with a gun. As it unfolds, Spike learns she's Rocco's sister, suffering from Venus sickness. Rocco's theft was to heal Stella's blindness. Dangers escalate. Rocco falls into Picaro's clutches, enduring torture, but never revealing the plant's location. The gang's threat to Stella finally forces Rocco's hand, and he agrees to lead them to Spike. As for Faye, her pursuit becomes a trap, leading her back to her crew. The appointed meeting between Spike and Rocco is laden with tension. Spike's revelation as a bounty hunter takes Rocco aback. However, their shared understanding of Stella's plight momentarily bridges their differences. But this peace shatters as Picaro's gang descends. Rocco's attempt to shield Spike sparks a fierce shootout. Backup arrives as Faye, soaring in her red tailcraft, and Jet in the Hammerhead engage the gang. During the chaos, Rocco, inspired by Spike's teachings, takes on a gangster, mastering him using Spike's fluid motions. A bullet pierces Rocco's back, and he collapses. The battle ceases with Faye capturing Picaro. The damage is done. A hospital room bathed in gentle light houses Stella, awaiting surgery to restore her vision. Her hope of reuniting with Rocco is shattered as she reads Spike's unspoken words. Despite his brief time with Rocco, Spike's sincerity is palpable as he assures Stella of her brother's integrity. The bustling streets of a Venusian market see Spike pausing at a fruit stand. An apple in hand, he takes a moment to savor a bite. All around him, the very spores that blinded Stella cascade like snow, painting a bittersweet tapestry of life's transient beauty. Episode 9. In orbit above Earth, the solitude-stricken artificial intelligence within a satellite laments its loneliness, orchestrating a dazzling display as they fire lasers, marking the planet's surface with intricate animal carvings. On Earth's District 39, Edward, engrossed in her techie world of radios and net surfing, manages to hack the Earthgate server. In doing so, she spots the Bebop's landing schedule. Suddenly, rocks tumble from the sky, flinging Edward and her gear up and around. Aboard the Bebop, the crew is lost in their own world. Their attention slightly deviates to a news broadcast revealing a hefty 8 million Wulong bounty. The prize? To catch whoever's responsible for turning satellites into Earth-sculpting artists. Spike isn't intrigued by the notion of pursuing hackers and opts out, leaving Jet and Faye to collaborate, albeit with reservations from Jet. Edward, ever the mischief maker, toys with a remote-controlled gadget. The Earth Police Department, suspecting a hacker's presence, descends upon her location. Ed, cheekily greeting them, seizes control of their ship, maneuvering it playfully until it crash lands. Curious, Edward later infiltrates the Bebop system, coming face-to-face, virtually, with the observing Ein. Jet and Faye set their plan into motion. As Faye inspects a potential antenna, Jet embarks on a mission to gather intel about the mysterious hackers. Edward's hacking spree doesn't end. Venturing deeper, she accesses the outernet server, diving into the virtual consciousness of the carving satellite. There she meets MPU, the self-proclaimed central processing unit of the D. The Earth police disrupt the connection. Back on the Bebop, Jet presents his fragmented findings about Edward, while Spike assesses the mysterious Pyokos. Edward intervenes with a revelation. It's the satellite itself behind the carvings. If they grant her a favor, she'll lead them to MPU. The mission involves a high-stakes manual flight to MPU, evading aggressive attack satellites. Spike, drawn to the adrenaline-pumping challenge, gets on board. In space, Spike relies on makeshift propulsion methods to stealthily approach MPU. When an attack satellite intervenes, a fierce aerial battle unfolds. With Faye's reluctant cover and Edward's strategic guidance, Spike finally connects to the satellite, enabling Edward to download a copy of MPU. Returning to Earth, the Bebop crew's hopes of claiming their bounty are dashed. The catch? Bounties are reserved for living entities, not machines. As they prepare to depart, Edward makes a bold move. Having been promised by Faye a place among the Bebop's crew, Edward ensures her spot by remotely grounding the ship. Left with no choice, they bring her on board. As the Bebop ascends away from Earth, Spike muses over the peculiar trio he's now saddled with. Episode 10. High above the celestial expanse, on board the Bebop, the crew revels in their recent success. Their latest capture, Baker Ponchorero, with Ed amusing herself at his expense. Jet's grip on the helm is tenuous. An old, cracked watch draws him into a sea of memories featuring a woman. When Faye speculates about Jet's history with Ganymede and a possible romantic past, a storm brews in Jet's eyes. Suddenly, Donnelly, ghost from Jet's past, surfaces on the video screen. Memories are exchanged, filled with echoes of Jet's bygone days. Acting on Donnelly's clues, Jet makes his way to La Fin, Elisa's bar located in Marvis. Marvis emanates nostalgia, wooden boats, seagulls, and an aura reminiscent of old-world fishing towns. Meanwhile, Spike and Faye exchange their bounty, reflecting on Jet's mysterious woman. Aboard the Bebop, Faye bathes in sunlight. Spike is engrossed in Swordfish 2 repairs. Jet's search culminates at La Fin, where he encounters a jittery Rint. Elisa's assurance that Jet is but an old friend makes Rint exit. As Elisa shares her plans to relocate due to dwindling clientele, Jet's protective instincts flare, but she assures him of her stability, thanks to her partner, Rint. Their conversation drifts, and Jet presents the broken watch. Meanwhile, Donnelly contacts Spike, revealing a tantalizing bounty, Rint. As Spike grapples with the truth and potential reward, Jet delves deep into the past with Elisa. He seeks clarity about her departure, but Elisa's perspective reveals the ever-moving sands of time. Their poignant reunion is cut short when Jet notices Rint. Their silent exchange drips tension. Rint, alarmed by Jet's profession, convinces Elisa to flee, but Spike, soaring above, intercepts them. An aerial chase ensues, culminating in a near collision with Jet. Jet, invoking his past as the indomitable Black Dog, takes charge. His pursuit through snaking canals unfolds with intensity, climaxing when he employs the Hammerhead's harpoon to slow down Rint's hovercraft. The chase meets a tragic end on a craggy shoreline. As Jet confronts Elisa, a hovering ISSP ship casts looming shadows. Gun aimed at Jet, Elisa pleads for mercy. The confrontation unravels layers of their shared past. Elisa's grievance, Jet's overpowering nature, Rint's escape attempt is futile against Jet's prowess. Though they're cornered, Jet's heart bends. Recognizing their love, he offers hope that Rint might be released on self-defense grounds. As Jet departs, he symbolically discards the watch into the river, signaling a man ready to embrace the future, leaving the shadows of the past behind. Episode 11. In the dimly lit quarters of the Bebop, an unseen entity lurks, making its quiet yet sinister presence felt. The crew, unaware of this unwanted guest, is engrossed in their own concerns. Money is tight. Jet and Faye are locked in a gambling duel, and things are not going well for Jet. Having already lost most of his belongings, including his clothes, to Faye's devious strategies, he faces her once more, but his misfortune persists, and he's defeated again when Faye discreetly uses a sneaky gadget hidden on her leg. Entering the room, Spike takes in the scene, cautioning Jet on playing against Faye. While all this unfolds, the unknown creature zeroes in on its prey, a rat. The noise attracts Ein's attention, who eyes the vent warily. But this mystery deepens when Jet, seeking warmth after his losses, finds a fridge in the attic. Fridge neither he nor Spike recalls. Jet's claim to having been bitten near the mysterious fridge adds an urgency to their situation. Crew's initial skepticism fades when they spot a peculiar mark on Jet's neck. While trying to diagnose the cause of Jet's distress, Spike and Faye are interrupted by a playful Ed, who suggests, with childlike innocence, they may be dealing with an alien bite. Creature's malevolence becomes clearer when it targets Faye during her bath. Fleeing the scene, she collapses in front of Spike. A similar mark visible on her leg. Threat looms closer. Ed, filled with enthusiasm, embarks on her own little adventure with Ein. They venture deeper into the ship, with Ed gleefully narrating. Their fun is short-lived. Ein is attacked. Spike, rushing to Ein's aid, spots the creature, blob-like entity that can slide and move with uncanny agility. Spike knows the responsibility of handling this menace rests on him. He gears up and sets the ship's autopilot, ensuring their eventual arrival on Mars. Traversing the Bebop's labyrinthine corridors, Spike faces the creature multiple times, eventually cornering it with a flamethrower. A wafting scent gives Spike a revelation. Creature's origin lies in the forgotten fridge, where a once treasured Ganymede rock lobster had been left to decay and transform over a year. Disgusted and determined, Spike pushes the fridge, now a cesspool of grotesque mutation, out of the Bebop's airlock and into the void of space. As the fridge drifts away, it leaves a dazzling trail of stardust. Ed, who remained untouched by the creature's wrath, suddenly awakens. To her, the dangerous blob is nothing but a tasty treat. "Pudding!" she exclaims, gobbling it down before drifting back into dreams. Episode 12. A star descends from the vast expanse of the sky, captured by the watchful eyes of Laughing Bull and his son. Bull imparts wisdom, explaining that the star represents the tear of a warrior who has ended his battle on Earth and is now searching for his way to the Great Spirit. On a dimly lit ship belonging to the Red Dragon crime syndicate, Vicious negotiates with the van about a red-eye transaction. Their skepticism is palpable. Why does the buyer rely solely on Vicious? Vicious counters by highlighting their shared history in the Titan War. The conversation shifts, subtle insinuations made about Vicious's authority. Despite the tension, Wang Long from the van agrees to the deal, albeit with conditions. He asks Lin to accompany Vicious, hinting at potential consequences for overstepping bounds. As they depart, Vicious warns Lin of possible betrayals for survival. However, Lin's deep sense of honor binds him to Vicious. Back on the Bebop, humidity blankets the ship, courtesy of Faye Valentine, who's vanished with their money and the cooling system's anti-freeze. Edward's search for Faye uncovers a signal with the codename Julia from the Blue Crow on Callisto. Spike, familiar with the name, is driven by a mix of hope and desperation. Jet, playing the voice of reason, warns Spike about acting on mere coincidence. Their ensuing disagreement strains their partnership, with Jet questioning their alliance's very foundation. With resolute determination, Spike chooses his quest over the bond, leaving Jet frustrated and resigned. In Callisto's chilly landscapes, Faye seeks solace in the Blue Crowbar. In her inebriated haze, Gren, a sax player, approaches her. His intentions are pure, cautioning Faye about the town's absence of women and possible unwanted attention. Despite his warnings, Faye remains undeterred. Spike's search leads him to a transvestite named Julius, who, mistaking Spike's request, directs him to Gren at the Blue Crow. However, Spike's quest is intercepted by a gang who mistake him for Vicious. Enraged at the mention of Vicious, Spike engages, overpowering them and learning about the Red-Eye deal and, importantly, that Julia isn't connected to it. Meanwhile, Jet's hunt for Faye takes him to a local bar where he learns about a bounty on Gren. He considers updating Spike, but their recent spat halts the call. The frosty streets of Callisto witness Faye's confrontation with Spike's previous assailants. Gren intervenes, whisking her away for her safety. In his apartment, Faye finds herself both comforted and challenged by Gren's words. A fleeting glance at his wall reveals a photo eerily resembling Vicious. An unexpected voice message from Vicious plays, heightening her suspicions. The cold winds of Callisto bear witness as Spike finally encounters Vicious in a snow-blanketed field. Lin, now an unexpected barrier, stands loyally between the two adversaries. Tension escalates when Lin draws his gun, emphasizing his unwavering loyalty to Vicious. Inside Gren's apartment, Faye's defenses are up. As the steam from the shower dissipates, she discovers Gren's unexpected physiology. He calmly shares his unique identity, pushing her to reconsider her initial assumptions. Lin, unwavering in his loyalty, surprises Spike by shooting him. Spike collapses, a dark stain blooming on the pristine snow. Vicious and Lin, leaving behind their fallen adversary. Episode 13. In the cold expanse of a trench reminiscent of World War I, Gren finds Vicious entranced by a music box playing the melancholic tune, Julia. Gren expresses a desire to recreate the tune on his saxophone once the war is over. Without uttering a word, Vicious hands over the music box. As he rises to leave in a swift motion, he slays a scorpion mere inches from delivering a lethal sting to Gren. Silently, Vicious departs. Back in the present, Gren recounts to Faye his subsequent imprisonment after the war. Accused of espionage on Vicious's testimony, he found himself subjected to an experimental drug, resulting in hormonal imbalances that led to his dual-gender physiology. His real quest is to confront Vicious, to seek the truth. Faye warns of Vicious's lethal intent. The conversation escalates, culminating in Faye's attempt to shoot Gren. However, he skillfully evades and incapacitates her. In town, Jet's search for Faye leads him to the Rester House bar. Showing Faye's picture to the bartender, he learns she sat where another woman named Julia once did, 2 years prior. Spike, in the interim, finds himself adrift in a sea of memories. Vivid hues of a red rose, intimate moments with Julia, and the uncanny nature of his mismatched eyes. Awakening, recognizes the handiwork of Lynn's tranquilizer and feels the sting of mockery. As Jet finally locates Faye, restrained and disoriented in Gren's apartment, Spike is back in action. He's attempting to intercept Vicious, deciphering an ancient code. An unexpected call from Jet offers a way back into the Bebop crew, contingent upon helping capture Gren. A deal is about to go down. Gren, donned in a disguise, confronts Vicious atop a desolate skyscraper. The two engage in a transaction involving a rare red-eye variant. However, the situation turns explosive as hidden agendas unfurl. The past resurfaces with Gren confronting Vicious about the music box and their shared history. Shots ring, with Lynn, ever loyal, shielding Vicious from harm. Spike's arrival intensifies the standoff. Engaged in aerial combat against Vicious, final act sees Vicious attempting to eliminate both Spike and Gren. Haunting notes of Julia emanate from the bag of red-eye, leading to Vicious's ship being critically damaged. The dust settles. Spike, amidst the wreckage, approaches Gren. Rather than seeking medical assistance, Gren desires a return to Titan. As he lays dying, drops a name Spike cherishes, Julia. Back on the Bebop, Jet and Spike reconcile. Bond remains as the ship. Concluding this intricate tapestry is a scene of Laughing Bull and his son. Watch a lone star streak across the sky. Curious as to what happens next? Like and subscribe for part 2. Definitely don't forget to answer the question of the day for a chance to be featured in our next video.